Welcome to another amazing day at fmtraining.tv. My name is Margaret. I'll be your broadcast engineer for today. Hi, everybody. Welcome. It's good to have you here. We're here to talk about the wonderful and fantastic FileMaker and Claris platforms. Basically, if you're looking for a database or a database software to make your database with, FileMaker is the way to go for a wide variety of reasons. And we're here to talk about basically becoming better developers and helping the community. So, currently, we are doing, I think, theoretically, our last 3 days of our current Nick series, which is Nick has basically asked one of our viewers, in this case Ken Tooley, to send in a FileMaker file stripped of data, and then Ken does Nick does a live makeover of Ken's file. So we've been doing that for the last 9 days. We'll be doing this for the next 3 days. It's been very cool. It's been a really awesome series to have. If you're like, man, this is really interesting, this is really cool, I would like to see Nick do this again with a different file, different problems, and you have such a file that Nick might be interested in, doing a makeover on, please send it to us at support@rcconsulting.com. You do get the file back at the end of it, I promise. Thursday will be also a really fun day. Please show up. It'll be JSON for beginners. So if you're like, oh, I would like to do some JSON with my integrating with my FileMaker file, Leland and Lana will be returning to do that on Thursday for a kind of 101 beginner's overview. Friday will be progression of managing digital documents with FileMaker. Managing digital documents in FileMaker can get really complicated really fast, depending on what problems you're trying to tackle. So Richard and I believe Christian Schmitz will both be here to talk about that on Friday and discuss what you can kind of expect. Okay, with that being said, Nick, what are we doing today?
Hello, Marge. Hello, Ken. Thank you for joining today. Thank you, everybody, for joining today for this last free day. But I think we will continue a little bit after my break. So when do I come back, by the way?
You come back sometime in, I think, at the very end point of April. So let me pull it up.
Okay.
No, actually, I'm a liar. You come back the very first of
May.
May. Yeah, I was gonna say March, and I'm like, wait, no, that's going back in time. The other bad month.
Yeah. So okay, so cool. Maybe we will continue, and depending on how I will be advanced this week. And but we didn't receive any file from anybody.
I have not been made aware of any files, so
okay, so people doesn't like it.
But no, it's kind of interesting. Well, yeah, it's kind of, I think, a pain to send the file in for some people. But I've heard I've got like the most feedback with being one of your like best series. So
yes, no, it's not. I didn't say that they don't like the series. I say they don't want they don't want to send the file because they don't want to be trashed online in video in live. No, I'm not. It's not a problem. Actually, it's normal, and we cannot learn from something perfect. So it's to learn, is to and if you want, we won't even mention you if you want. It's okay, but it's cool. Ken came every day with us, and we did a good work, and we learned so many things in few days. So it was kind of cool. So okay, so today what we do, we continue of building the file from Ken. So we review a lot of things. So let me share my screen right quick. So I'm going to stop my video and then share my screen. So what we did, we came from this file, right? So we worked on all of those things here. We worked on the search here. We work on this poll here that self-related, kind of current table related poll, and we worked on all those fields and those status that Ken had, and we worked on how the status be calculated, how the status is triggered based on documents that we have and based on photos that we put in another table. So we learn all of those things. We learn about the conditional formatting. We learn about the hidden state. We learn of many things. So last time, when we left last week, we left here. So we are going to rebuild this poll here, right? We're going to rebuild this, And Ken has kind of Ken wants to put one of those balloons here, so we have pilots balloons, so that Ken's our patient that we were talking about earlier. So so he has balloons. For each pilot has balloons, and he wants to get to make sure that we have only one primary, right? So he wants to make one of those balloon primary. So just click here and say make this balloon primary, or make this balloon primary. So we want to build this. How to make that happen. So there's multiple technique here, but one of my favorites, okay, is to use a PSOS, okay, to use a perform suite on server. Why? Because it's fast, right? And it's easier to do something like this, So why the advantage of building a PSOS most of the time is because that avoids, the antique technique that we were using, to go to another table, do something in that table, and come back to the current table. So we go somewhere, right? We go like this, So for example, we have this what we were doing before, right? So for example, when here, okay, pilots, okay. So in here we say, okay, set balloon as primary, okay? So that is what we want to do, set the balloon, set the balloon as primary. So before, what we were doing, go to layouts, whatever layout we need to go, which is the balloon, right? Which table I need to go there, Ken?
Yeah, there's a balloon table. Balloon verification was the...
Okay. So we need to go to a balloon on this table,
yeah,
right? We need to go there, do stuff, right? And then go to layout original. So that's the antique way, But it's not great because we need to put a freeze, right? We need to put a freeze, go to the layout, do stuff, come back, and that's it's not great because you have a kind of a flickering effect, and you can that the freeze here can break depending on what does do stuff do, So you can go and see your layout and then come back. So it's not clean, it's not. And here you do stuff locally. And locally, okay. I don't know if there's two L or locally. See? No. And locally, it's slow, right? So whatever you do here between those two can be slow, okay? It can be slow depending on how many records you have, depending on many things, right? So it can be very slow. It's not cool. It doesn't look great, right? So this is not the way. This is not my preferred way. Yeah. My preferred way is to use PSOSes. Okay. So no, what did I do? I don't want to do that. I want a new folder. So why PSOSes? Because PSOS is something that happened on server, right? So that we know that, right? So it's something that happened. It's like asking somebody else to do something for you. It's like asking somebody else that has FileMaker installed in his computer to do something for you. So you're not bothered. You're not bothered. You don't leave this layout. You don't leave it. You just say, okay, somebody else, do this, right, for me, and thank you, right? Pretty much. That's what the pieces do, okay? So how we organize this? So here, for example, what I want to do, I want to go to that table, gather the records I have here, right? And set the balloon I selected, so this one, set it as primary. But what I want I want the old primary, if there's one, to not be primary again. Okay, so I don't want, if I go there and I said to make mad balloon primary, I want this to be green primary and I want this to be blue, right? I don't want that to be primary again because I don't want two primary. You cannot have two primaries, right? So how we do that, okay, using a P source. So to trigger a P source, right, you need two scripts. So you need a script here that will be fired by a button in that layout. And that script here will perform script on server, okay? This, right? So this is my way of naming things. I have this script that will perform on server that script, right? So we have a script here, this script here, the set balloon as primary. This button will fire it. This one, this button here, will fire that script, right? This one. This one is fired by clicking that button, right? Correct? And that script, I'm basic because I want the beginners to understand what's going on. This is attached to a button, and that script performance server another one. So to keep the connection between the two, I name this one set balloon as primary, and this one I name it PSOS set balloons as primary. So I know those two are connected, right? I know that the set balloon as primary will trigger that script because they have the same name. The only difference is that here I'm adding PSOS here on as a prefix, and I'm putting that on a folder, right? And I put all my PSOSs in that folder. All the PSOSs that belongs to the pilot will land there, like I do here for the trigger. All the triggers, right, that belongs to the pilot are inside a folder in the pilot folder, right? So this is how I organize my stuff. It's very practical, by the way. What these PSOS do, right? So what we want to do. Okay. First, we need to gather set variable. We build a variable here in that local script, the one that is triggered by the button. I want to set a variable which is the current balloon ID, right? And this, the variable, right? I want that to come from the script parameter. Okay. So why I'm doing this? So I explain. Here, this will be fired from a row, from a pod row. So I want to make sure that the ID I'm getting from that button is the ID of the balloon of the current active row, right? So when we have the balloon, if I click here, this is the active row, right? So if I do this, so balloon, okay. So if I do this and I go there and I want to see the ID of this balloon table, I want to see the ID. This is the ID. Is the ID of that row for that balloon, right? The number is CA121, okay? But if I click on that row, it's 6A44. It's another one. If I click on that row, it's CA12. So I get what's the name? I'm getting the ID of the balloon of the record I'm in on the portal. To gather that ID, the best way to make sure I will get that ID and not another one is to tell the script parameter, right, to send the balloon ID to the script. So the button is fired from a row. So I'm sure 100% that that script will receive the balloon ID. Okay. Now that I have this, I'm going to say, okay, I have the variable with my current balloon ID that is coming from the parameter of the script. That's cool. And now I'm sending this ID to the parameter of the pieces. So let's recap. I have a button on the layout that belongs to a portal row. I'm taking the ID of the record of the current portal, of the active portal row I'm in. I'm sending this in a variable in that local script. From that variable, I'm sending to the scripts that I'm performing on server the content of that variable as a parameter as well. And then I know your question, why I'm not doing this? Right, why I don't say, don't do this, and I say get script parameter directly. Haha, why? For this reason. If I do that way, okay, here what happened. Okay, the script debugger, I go there and I said this. And here I'm perform the scripts that performs the script on server. But if I want to see, right? If I want to see the ID, that which ID I'm in, which ID I'm collecting from the get script parameter, I need to do this. Click here, plus, get script parameter, boom. And I have it. Okay, I know, now I can see it. But if I do this, let's stop this. If I do this, right? Here what happened. Script debugger, click. Before, as at that point, I have it there. Boom, it's there. Poop, it's there. I have it. I don't need to, bother, get script, I have it there. So you will say, yeah, okay, that's fine. But imagine that you have a much more complicated action where you have a lot of things in the parameter, right? And you want to debug something. It's better to have this always available to you in a very simple manner, right? In a very simple manner, right? So that helps you for the debugging. That the only reason I'm doing this is for that, right? But trust me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It helps you a lot. Believe me, 35 plus.
So the other way works, you just can't track anything or debug.
Exactly. For the debugging, it's not practical,
Got it.
It's not. And imagine you have something much more complicated, right? So sometimes my parameter has 15, 16 parameters, so I want to make, and the pieces doesn't work, and after 5 hours of debugging, you want to take your computer, throw it by the window, right? Trust me, this is, okay, I got it. This is wrong, it's the wrong table, or it's the wrong number, I'm in the wrong field, whatever, right? But you can track it much better with this than this.
So now, goes back to all the let stuff we did last week with the same type of thing. It's easier to track the variable through everything as opposed to this field that keeps changing.
Exactly. So you can, the let function helps you to debug a calc. The let function is pretty much a calc debugger, right? Because you can get every single logic, all the logic you have on your calculation, you can separate it and check the logic for each one, you know. So that's exactly the same. More you split things, you know, more you have freedom of, more you can check, you know, because you have little bits and you can check, right? So now that I have this, you know, now that I have this stuff, you know, so I'm ready to fire that script. So what does script do? Okay. So, right now, I just realized that I need more stuff, by the way. Okay. So now, what this script do? Okay. I want to go to the balloon, right? And I want to do stuff on the balloon table. But I want to do two things. I need two things, by the way. And that's why the script parameter is the best way to do this, right? I want two things. Yes, I need the current balloon ID, right? I need that. But also, I need another parameter. I need the current pilot.
Right.
Correct?
Yep.
I want the current pilot. So I need two parameters, not only one. I need two. So how we do this? We do a list, and you say, I want the ID of the pilot, and I want the balloon ID. So now I have two parameters, two, right? So how this will look like, and that is, so now you will see the benefits of the script of the variable, because now look how it looks like. I go there, right? I fire this, right? And now I have this current balloon ID with the script parameter. But now this is wrong, because the script parameter now returns two IDs. I have two IDs. This is a pilot, and this is a balloon. So now I'm splitting in two, right? I'm splitting in two. I'm doing this. I have the current pilot, right? And the current balloon ID. I have two. I'm creating two variables, one for the pilot and one from the balloon, right? So, but now I want only the first value. Remember, I have two values, right? Remember that?
Yeah.
I have two IDs. So here, you can do this, get value of my parameters, and I want the first. So I want the first value of this. And here, I want the second value. So you can do this, get value script parameter 1, get value script parameter 2. Or you can use my custom function, get parameter value, the first and the second, which is pretty much doing the get value parameter like this. Function gets parameter value is doing this. Is doing what, but instead of saying get value, get parameter, you know, instead of doing this, I have a get value get parameter value. Sure. Right? It's easier, right? It's
shortcut.
Easier. Shortcut, yeah. So I have this and this. So now I have two IDs, right? Two.
Right.
So what I'm doing now, right? I'm building another variable. I name param, right? And what this is I'm rebuilding in the scripts another list with the pilot ID and the balloon ID. So pretty much I'm rebuilding a list of two, right? So I got a list of two IDs. I'm separating the two, and then I'm putting back the two together, how they were. So why I'm doing this, again, is for a debugging purpose. It's for a debugging purpose, right? Because now, and of course, I'm sending here the param. So I'm sending this, okay? So why I'm doing this? I'm doing this because, sometimes those things get complicated, right? And you will see that if you apply that technique, you will be able to debug much easier. Demonstration. I click here, I'm doing bum, 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 and now I have everything there. This is a pilot, this is a balloon, and this is a tube. So, yes, it looks crazy, but because we have a simple example. But if we do that with much more complexity, right? And I will show you, right? If we do that with much more complexity, right? You will see that you will get lost. You will get lost. You have no way to check and verify your stuff, right? So now, and at the end, when everything will be done, I'm going to explain to you why to use script parameters, why to do this, and why to do the param, variable. But I need to go forward, and at the end I will explain you why. Okay. So now I'm fully ready, right? Fully ready to do this, right? So I have this done. Boom. This is now sent to the script here. And here, again, this will send two IDs. Two IDs. So, and here I will get two IDs. So now I need to do that. I copy those two and I paste them here. So why? Those two variable collects, each one collects each ID, boom, boom, okay? I'm getting them together back, sending to the script on server. The script on server will receive two IDs, the first and the second. So it's the same because this is coming from a parameter and this is coming from a parameter. Anyway, I need to build those two variables in the P source. So let's build them in the local script also and copy paste them, right? So now I'm ready. Okay. So here, now, right? What do I do? What do I do? Here. I want to go to the layout, the balloon layout, right? I'm going to the balloon layout. So I'm going there. What is 202? I'm going there. I'm going to that layout. Boom. Right?
Right.
I'm going there. And then what do I do? There's two techniques here. Two techniques. But I'm going to show you the most obvious. I'm performing a find in that context, in that table, based on the pilot ID. So that's why I need a variable, right? I need a variable because in the perform find here, I want the pilot ID here. So I want to find the IDF pilots with the current pilot ID coming from the variable. So here in the perform find request, we can add this. Boom. So here I'm going to do, right, a perform find in that table, right? But and also a good technique that I'm going to show you now, right now, explain to you. A good technique that I always apply and that save my butt 2 billion times, right? Save my butt 2 billion freaking times. Why? Because I'm doing this. If get last error, right? Alt, stop everything. So if the perform find return any errors, stop everything. Stop. Because that means nothing will work after the perform find. So you don't want anything to happen if the perform find failed. And you will tell me why you want the perform find to fail. Oh, why? You have 2 billion reasons why it could fail. Especially the most the biggest reason is because you can copy paste this to another script, rearrange, tweak it in another script to reuse, and then you forgot to go there and change this, right? And then after that, so imagine that you have something like this: perform find, delete all. So you have this delete all record. So you have perform find, you have no nets, no safety nets, you have no parachutes, right? And you delete all records. Okay, bye-bye. So you 20,000 records, they all deleted because this didn't work, because you did a copy paste in the script and you forgot to fix this, right? That's the biggest reason, So always, especially on the PISOs, you want to do this. You perform find and then you put a safety net after each of those script steps that can fail. This cannot fail. It's impossible to fail. I mean, unless you go to layout, right? And then you delete the layout, right? That will be destroyed. We say unknown, and that will fail. But otherwise, this won't fail. But this can fail for many reasons. Okay. So I'm doing this. So I'm halting this, right?
Nick,
and then,
do you ever put a custom dialogue in there that if the get last error, hey, things didn't work and we're stopping?
Yeah. So we're going to do that, but because this happened on server. So there's a way.
So it's all right. It'd have to come back and give it back to the client. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Yeah. We're going to do that. That will be part of the demonstration. So I'm going to the layout, performing the find on the pilot. So I want I want that list. I want all the balloon from that, from that pilot. I want all the balloons here. I want that, right?
Right.
So I'm going perform find and I'm looking for those 2 records. And then what you should have done is wrong. So I'm not even asking you what you will have done here. I will tell you immediately what to do. You replace directly in one step. We do all what we want to do. We replace. I don't know if we have a tag. Maybe we have a tag here, tag primary or something like this. I don't have a tag primary.
There is a field with primary.
Yeah, or flag or something like this.
It would be in the balloon table though.
Oh yeah, that's why. Sorry, balloon tag primary, right? So yeah. and then we have this calculation. That we said it doesn't work, but it will work. So I have this tag primary, right? I have this tag primary. So why did I do that? I don't remember. ID not balloon set primary.
That was when we were adding a balloon.
Oh yeah, when we add a balloon. Okay. So I keep that. So I have the tag primary. So what do I want to do? I want to replace that tag primary, which is a 1 or 0. It's a Boolean, okay? And that's why that is a number. That's why this field is a number. I want that to be a number. It's 0 or 1, okay? It's a tag. It's a Boolean, you know? It returns a Boolean answer, you know? Not yes, no, right? It's a Boolean number. It's a Boolean answer. So I replace the tag by this calc. Going to the balloon table or the T02, right? Going there, and I said, this ID equal this. So what this do? I'm going to the balloon table and I'm looking for all the records of that pilot. And then I don't even care if I had one before. I don't even try to find which one was primary before. Or no, I just say whatever in these records, I want to put a 1 in that field if the ID of the balloon equal the current balloon ID that I want to check, I want to mark as primary, right? That's what I want to do. And I don't need to go to find the current primary, remove the tag, and go to the new primary and put the tag. I don't need to do that. I get all the records and I replace the tag by the one that is with the ID of this. And that happened on server. So that will be super, very, very fast, okay? Because it's this equal this. So it's pretty much nothing here. Nothing happened that instant, okay? So.
But isn't that the tag is a Boolean and it looks like you're replacing it with an ID, with a full UUID.
No. I'm replacing by a Boolean answer. Is this equal this? So it's like doing this. Look.
Okay, I see it. Yeah.
It's a Boolean logic. Is
so
one
if it matches. Okay.
Is 1 equal 1? Yes.
Yep.
Is 1 equal 2? No. 1 doesn't equal 2. Is Nick equal Nick? Yes. If Nick equal Nico, no. Right? It's a Boolean. It's a Boolean. So you say this equal this, or this different to this, or and you can even do more. 1 plus 3 equal 5. No. You ask, you know, it's logic. You ask. So FileMaker called that an expression, right? FileMaker, we evaluate the expression and you say, okay, yes, no. Is this equal 4? Yes. Is this equal 5? No. So here I'm asking, is this ID in the balloon IDB field equal the ID I have in my current balloon ID? If this, so then it will put 1 or 0 in that table, in that field. So demonstration.
Yeah, I missed the equal sign in the second half.
Yeah, exactly. So here, I want that primary, right? Boom, it changed it. Now I want that primary. Oh, I want that primary, this one. Boom, it changed it. Right?
And the others. And it changes the others.
Yeah, exactly. Because, you know, I'm saying it's like doing this, replace, you know,
Yeah.
That's it. It's so we can add here to make sure that we understand well. We have the pilot, right? So we have the pilot ID, and we have the balloon ID. So let's put this here. We have the balloon ID, right? So it's like doing this. If I copy this and I say here in that field, I'm saying, is this, right?
Right.
Equal this. Is what I said, is this equal this? Okay. So here what he's doing, replace. Boom, it changed. This is not equal to this, and this is equal to this. So it's a yeah, right? It's a, you understand? So this is how you untag, retag, right? This is how you do. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. So now that I have this, I want to optimize things, right? So I want to optimize my script. First, I need to close that, that popover when I click on this. That means I'm done. Close the popover, So we go there and you say, okay, do this, and then close the popover. But because FileMaker is, so you close the popover. So I do this, and I close the popover, right?
Got it.
And because we have a sort, this is sorted by the primary always on top. We need to do a commit. Why? Is because automatically that's that I will have something open in that record because I'm clicking on the row. So the sort, the resort will happen only if the current record is committed. Okay.
Right.
So demonstration. So I'm doing this. Boom. Right? Doing this. Boom. Right? So if I want, I can optimize even more. Okay? I can do the close the popover and the commits after, before everything happened. So why can I do this? Why can I do this? It's because I don't care of losing the current portal row, the active portal row. Why? Is because I got all the information of that portal row before that happened, before I committed the record. I got it before because it was on the script parameter. So I can do this. I can close the popover and commit. And then that means, and then do this, and this after. So demonstration. So I'm doing this, I close, boom, right? So it happened before, right? It happened before. But, with the Zoom, I'm sharing Zoom, so everything's sluggish. But it's, so he's doing this, look, right? So I click here, he's doing, close the popover, commit the record, right? And then you do this, boom, 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 right? Right? Mm-hmm. So now, before we go to the question, what happens if I don't wait? Because I don't care about waiting. Do I care about waiting? No. I don't care about waiting that happen. So I don't need to wait. I don't. Right? For now, I don't. So if I do this, boom, right? So this is primary, the mad balloon, right? But if I do this, Now it will be the damn good. And you see that everything refresh itself. Everything refresh itself, right? This primary is green and the sort happened. Why? Is because I'm doing that, the commit, I'm doing that, I'm doing the commit before that happening. So the record is closed. At that point here, I'm just teaching you the good way to think things, right? In this type of process, right? So if I click here, hear what happened. At that point, nothing happened. Absolutely nothing happened. And at that point, I have the thing here. At that point, nothing happened. Absolutely nothing happened. But I have collected this. I have collected this. I have it.
Right.
I have it. Is in memory. So I can close the popover, close, commit the record, boom. So now the record is committed. I can do my stuff with my two IDs are here. My two ID, I can say, okay, variable. And then I can say, I have everything correct. You can check everything correct, right? I have the pilot, I have the balloon, I have both. And I can say, do it. Do it on server, boom. And boom, it will reflow automatically and do all the hidden condition. And you don't need to refresh absolutely nothing. Nothing you need to refresh, right? And that there's a reason why. Okay, that's the reason why. It's because, we replace a field. We do the action of replacing. On the balloon table, I say replace, right? That's a strong action, right? If I do a relookup, it won't work that way. A relookup, if you say, for example, the tag is based on the related, let's say if you have a relookup or something like this, it won't happen like this. You will have to refresh the probe because it won't refresh those things. But thanks to the replace action, which is strong, it's something boom, right? It's you engrave with the replace. You engrave stuff, right? Then even on a remote, even on another computer, because that happened on server. It didn't even happen on your computer. It happened on another computer. But even if it happened, you get refreshed because this. So now, before we go to the question, right? I want to do something. So I want to go there, here, right? And I want to make this disappear if that balloon is already primary. This is primary. I don't want to make it primary again. This is not primary. I want this to be primary. So boom. So now this one is not, and this is, but you understand that it looks bad to have a blank space like this, right? So you duplicate this, right? Duplicate. This button does absolutely nothing, right? And you say this. So let's close this. And you say, you remove this. Sorry. And it's because it's not easy. Okay. And you say this. Okay.
Yeah.
and you make this appear disabled. So that easy. You make that gray and you make that gray. Right? So now this will appear disabled. There's no action. This disappear when there's a tag primary, and this disappear when there's not a tag primary. So that's thanks to the fact that I'm talking the basic language of FileMaker, which is 0 and 1. The basic language of any computer in the world, until they come with a quantic computer. But in the world, the computer today, the primary language is 0 and 1. FileMaker knows that, So when you use the Boolean 0, 1, when you use the Boolean, you can do this, not primary. If you start to do yes, no, you know what I mean? If you say, for example, in that field primary, we have used yes or no. In that case, that doesn't work anymore.
Right.
You would have need to do tag primary equal no. You have to do this because FileMaker is not this language. You have to translate. But now, because I am using the 0 and 1, I can say not, or I can say this or this. This is the opposite of this. This will disappear when this is 1, and this will disappear when this is not 1. And you put that in front. So now we have a nice UI, very easy to do, right? It's very easy. We have a nice UI. This, damn good, is already primary. I don't need to do that. Okay, cool. And that, okay, I can make it primary. It looks great. It works great. It's instant. I don't have a back and forth go to layouts, and everything happen on server, right? So before we go forward, if you have some question, I bet we have, it's the good time.
We do, actually. So when starting PSOST, it's okay to go to pilot, find pilot, and go to related balloon record instead of perform find for balloon? Question mark.
Yeah, you can do that. Why you want to do that? Yeah, it's the same. It depends, that could be a good way, right? When you have a lot of records, But yeah, otherwise, I prefer to do another way, This is my favorite way. This is the simplest way, right? But my favorite way is this. In the balloon table, where's the balloon table? T02. Okay, in the balloon table, I have another. Oh, I have it. Yeah, but it's not the relation. I'm creating another relationship. And here in my balloon table, right, I build, duplicate this, a link transfer IDs. I have a global field, which is text. I have this global field in every single of my tables, all of them. All my tables have a link transfer ID, all of them, all. If you go in my stuff, you see this field in every single table, right? And here, that T02C, right? I said T02C balloon self, right? And that is pilot, right? So what do I do with this? I want the transfer IDs, right? This global field, I'm relating this to the pilot ID, to the foreign key of the pilot ID of the same table. Those two those two goes to the balloon and to the balloon. So that means we call that a self-related table, self-related occurrence, right? This is what we call that, self-related occurrence. That means I'm going to a global, I'm setting a field in that global, and I'm relying on the relationship to get me the records. So demonstration. It's a good question. So because I was going to show that, so it's good. Now, instead of doing this, the perform find, which I don't like, and for many reasons I don't like. But let's say I don't like it. It's slow, it's not practical. You don't see what's going on. You need to open this and stuff like this. It's not great. So this, bye-bye. Okay? I'm setting a field based on the pilot ID. I'm setting the field in my T02 balloon table. I'm setting the transfer ID with that ID here. Right? I want that to happen. Right?
Right.
Okay. By the way, I want to keep this as an example. Okay. So this we deactivate that. So we put that here. We deactivate that. So I'm going to the layout. I'm setting the field, and then I'm saying this: go to related record using the self-related table, which is the T02C balloon self-pilot, right? Using the current layout. Actually, that's why we have this freaking current layout, because there's no other way to use current layout here than to be a self-related relationship. Otherwise, how you do? This is why we have the current layouts, because that to be used in the in a self-related occurrence, because I am already in the balloon and I'm asking a relationship to select to me all the balloon of that table based on that ID. And I say show only related records. That is the same of doing this, but that works much better than this, right? And that allows you to do much more, right, than just this. And I will explain that but tomorrow. Okay, I'm going to explain why this is better than this. Okay, but this is the same. The result will be exactly the same, right? And so did he do it? I don't see. No. Why? Go set field balloon go through. It didn't work. So it didn't work. Oh, maybe I did something wrong here. Balloon T02 balloon. Oh. T02 balloon scene. Yeah. Pilot. Okay. So now that allows me to do something good here, because he didn't do it. He didn't do it. See? It's not doing it at all. So let's see. Did it change here? No, it doesn't do it. Right? So we have this. So we have multiple ways to debug this. It's a good, actually, it's a good, I want to show you how to debug so that, we have a good way. First, what we do, we disengage this. Okay? Why? Because the debugger is not capable of returning me any error of this script. Why? Because I say off. So that means saying off is just say do it and I forget about you on your own. You're on your own. I don't even know you exist. When you do this, you're on your own. You don't exist anymore. I'm not waiting. Bye-bye. Deactivating this, activating the completion, that says, no, you're not on your own. Do it, and I'm waiting for you. I want to make sure, right? And then you have an error coming. Right? So the replace, reserialize criteria are invalid. So now you have an error. 4 or 6, replace, reserialize, make an error. Right? So that means this doesn't work anymore. Oh, because I undo. I have undone too much. You know what I mean? I did undo, and I undone too much, and I removed this. Cool. Okay, so see.
Oh, okay, yeah.
See how we debug. So, right. So now it will work. So I can do this. Now I can do this. Perform this. Boom, 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 boom. Do this. And I have no error anymore, right? So now it works. Now I have the thing, right? But why I have to?
That wasn't what you had to replace in there, because that's what I was asking you about. You wanted the Boolean of whether that worked.
Yeah. I did. I forgot something. Yeah. I don't have the. So now it did that. It replaced by the ID. Now
right. That's what I was asking about before.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now what you were doing.
Now it's a Boolean, So now it's a Boolean. So I can. So let's remove those things. Let's put 1 here and then put 0 here, right? So make primary, boom. Make primary, boom, right? So it works. So we debug. So now, before we go back to the question, I want to terminate this. So we learned. So now I can re-engage. The off, and I have no waiting time whatsoever. Boom. And it comes when it comes. I don't care. But at least I say, okay, make primary, and you can go and do whatever you want. Right? You're not stopped, right? Because I don't care if it doesn't show immediately, right? I mean, if I don't want to wait to do this, I'll do it, No, do it. And well, now I want to debug that script. I want to debug it, but I have no way to run a debugger on Perform Visual Server. When you perform the scripts here, so you have this script. This I can debug, and then, bam, ciao. I can debug this. So how can I debug this? This is how you do. You do a new window, right? And you set this window to go to the layouts where this script needs to land. This script lands, I want this script to perform on the T02 balloon. So I'm creating a new window that go directly to the T02 balloon. Then I'm performing the script, but not on server. I'm performing that script, the one that I'm performing on server, but here I'm performing it, I'm performing it on this computer, not on server. And then I close the window. I deactivate this for now because I'm debugging, and I'm sending the parameters to that script as I've done for that one. So pretty much I'm performing that script, that one, not on server, I'm performing locally, but in a new window. I open a new window in the context I need to be. I'm performing the scripts, and then I close the window. That will simulate the same condition as performed with the script on server, because the script on server will do exactly this. It will open the database, go to the layout T02, do the stuff, and then close. It will do exactly this, the same.
And because it's local, we can watch it in script debugger.
And now exactly, now I can see, right? So let's say I have the same. Let's simulate the same error that I have before. Okay. So let's duplicate this. Let's simulate the same error. You see how you can do mistakes? It's because I have undone too much. I said, Control Z, too much. And I removed stuff that I didn't even know I did. So let's simulate the same, right? That's the same mistake. And you want to debug this. So you go there, you perform all of this, and now new window in that context performs the scripts. So you get the parameter, you get the thing, go to layout. I'm already there, but I'm setting the fields, the transfer. I'm going to the related record, which is the 2, because I have only 2 records. I have no error, and then I replace it. Boom, I have my error. I say, oh, okay, something wrong happened. So now I can debug a script on server, right? I can say, okay, cancel it. I know what it is. You fix it. You fix it. Boom. And voila. And then you can re-engage, you perform script on server. Now, I have a way to do that, right? Automatically, right? So I'm putting here, if $pesos do this, otherwise do this. And I have a script here, but normally I don't. I'm putting that on the top. That my utilities, right? So I have this here, and I'm saying set pesos, right? And I have here a dialog, right? Show dialog, right? Set pesos, whatever we want to talk here. And you said deactivate, cancel, right? Don't care about this. So I have those 3. Set variable $pesos. Okay, so I am saying this. Get last if get last message choice equal 1. I said 1, otherwise 0, right? So if I have this condition, if I click the first button, put 1, otherwise put 0, right? Right? Mm-hmm. And if get last message choice equal 3, alt. That means I want nothing to happen. So here I have 2 buttons. I have activate, deactivate, 3 buttons. Activate, deactivate, cancel. Cancel, that means, oh, don't change it. Leave it alone, right? Right? So,
right.
So I have this script here that do this. Set pesos, activate. So now I have this, pesos 1. If I say script pesos, deactivate. Now here I have pesos 0, right? And if I go there and I say cancel, it doesn't change anything. It stays 0, right? So now this will work. This. If pesos, do this, otherwise do this. So let's say I have a command 1. I want to activate pesos. And I want to debug this. So I debug. Boom, 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 boom. Pesos, do on pesos, boom. Now I want to deactivate pesos. Boom. I do this. Pesos deactivated. Okay, new window, perform the script, replace, close. Right? So this is a good debug tool. And that's a good way to organize your stuff. That only have the purpose of making your script debuggable easily, right? Because otherwise you are deactivating this and you are reactivating this and deactivating this and reactivating, I don't want to.
And missing things.
And missing things and and do things like I've done, stuff like that. So was quite all right. So questions and
Nope, I think we're good to wrap up then. So
whoa, no question. Oof. Okay, sure, no question. Okay, no problem. So
to be fair, I can't see Twitch right now because Twitch is having problems. So
okay.
Any questions from Twitch have disappeared into the void.
Okay, no, I have no problem. So we can answer tomorrow. But
yes,
we talk about that so much about the pesos and stuff like that, and but that was a good, because I had a good example, simple enough, and you saw the progression, from when you create all the process, right? So you understand now the benefits of doing something like this is only for the debugging. This also is only for the debugging, right? So we learn a lot of things. So
yeah.
Okay. So now we have this nice making, wasn't it? Oh, the
Primary.
pieces activate. So if I have pieces activate, it's faster, right? Okay, so see you tomorrow.
See everyone tomorrow. Bye.
Thanks, Nick. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, Ken. Bye-bye.
Got a report of an individual up here who may be a FileMaker license. Well, it's potentially expired. Look at the back of that car right there. Looks like the FileMaker license has expired. Sir, I need you to step out of the vehicle. Sir, step out of the vehicle. Sir.